Hello everyone, this is Ariel Tayeb. In this video, I'm going to show you a game which was played by Rashid Nezhmetdinov against Vladas Mikenas. But just before I show you the game, don't forget to subscribe to this channel because I'm planning to post more videos about Rashid. And if you want to see a game by Rashid Nezhmetdinov, then feel free to leave a comment down below with the name Rashid, and I will know you want me to show more of his games, or if you want games which were played by Mikhail Tal or Miguel Naidorf or Bobby Fischer or whatever player, then just leave their first name in the comment section and I will make sure to record a video about them. Never mind, let's go back to the game. Rashid had the white pieces and he started with e4, and Vladas Mikenas played knight to f6, the Alekhine Defence, e5, knight to d5, and c4. And this is known by a few names. Then the one that I know is the chase variation, they chasing the knight. And this is actually also known as the Lasker variation with c5. After knight to d5, bishop to c4, e6, and now knight to c3. When you see black playing e6, it seems like he's not only defending the knight on d5, but he is also attacking the pawn on c5. And knight to c3 seems to gambit this pawn, but it's not that simple. Black is not quite easily able to gain a pawn here, because after knight takes c3, b takes c3, if black plays bishop takes c5, then now d4, and it's not quite clear how should black continue. Because if a very natural move such as bishop to b6, then white will play here queen to g4, attacking the pawn on g7, and there is no easy way to defend it, because g6, of course, just loses the queen to bishop to g5, and the queen is lost. But castling kingside is also quite a bad move, because after bishop h6 threatening checkmate, g6, white can just regain the exchange, take the exchange, and white will be slightly better because he's of the exchange for a pawn. But I think even better is just bishop to g5, playing on the weak dark squares, because the dark square bishop is on the other side of the board. And the queen can't move. I mean, if queen e8, which is a suicide move, then bishop to f6, white is planning to penetrate with his queen to h6. And there is no good way to play against it. For example, if h6, then now queen h4, threatening to go to h6 anyways, and after king h7, the simplest move in the world is simply castling queenside with a rook left on the third rank, and there is no good way to play against it. But sooner or later, black must play moves such as h5 and then g4, and white is completely winning. So, I mean, it's not that easy to just grab the pawn. If d4, black would, the engine suggests one of the best moves is bishop to f8, just retreating the bishop back. And yes, black is up a pawn in this position, but as a compensation, white has a leading development. You see, he already developed his light squared bishop. He's about to develop his knight. This bishop is free to move, as well as this queen. And white already got control of the center. So this is, I think, I would prefer to play this position with white. Let's go back to the game. So black didn't capture the knight on c3. Instead, he just played d6, which is some type of a gambit. After knight takes d5, e takes d5, bishop takes d5. By the way, the black name is Mikenas, and this variation with d6, it's known as Mikenas Gambit. It was called after him. But in this game, he actually lost with his own gambit, because after knight takes d5, e takes d5, and bishop takes d5, black should most likely just take one of the pawns. For example, taking on e5 would be just sufficient. Although black is still clearly worse. No, taking on e5. I'm sorry, there is queen f3. I didn't saw it. I didn't see it, because now there is queen takes f7 and bishop takes b7 threats, and there is no way to defend both of them. So I mean, the best way is queen f6, and after bishop takes b7, to trade the queens and try to block it with c6. But white is clearly better here, because the material, well, white is up a pawn. And also black can't very easily develop his knight, because then there is bishop takes c6, which come with check. Oh, I mean, there's bishop takes c6, which come with check. So this is a weakness which will remain for the rest of the game, and white is still up a pawn. So black didn't want to go for it, so he just played c6, trying to chase the bishop and then maybe capture one of the pawns. But in this position, Rashid found a very nice counter blow. So feel free to pause the video and find out what Rashid played. So I give you a couple of seconds to pause the video. Okay, I hope you found it. Well, just before I show you, don't forget to drop a like to this video. Leave a thumbs up because this is really helping me and it helps grow this channel. So in this position, Rashid played bishop takes f7 check, and after king takes, he just took on d6. And if you see this position, it seems like Rashid sacrificed the bishop for nothing, but actually white has 3 pawns for the bishop he sacrificed, and also black king is a bit exposed because there is no such a great square. He's not covered anywhere. I mean, he can't go with king g8 to just stay behind the pawns and go for h6, bishop h7 to hide his king, because there is a concrete mate. You see queen b3 and there is mate on the next move. So in this position, black played queen e8 in order to pin the e pawn to be able to take on d6. So white had to play queen to e2, defend the pawn on e5 and unpinning the pawn on e5, so the d pawn is still protected. Black played c5 to free up the square for his knight. White continued knight to f3, and black played a very resourceful move, bishop takes d6. He's giving back the piece, and white is advised not to take the bishop. I mean, it's possible white will still remain a little bit better, but it's such a difficult position. For example, if he takes d6, which wasn't played in the game, and then simply trading queens followed by rook e8, and if white play here king d1, the best move is king d3 as per the engine. But if king d1, then bishop to g4, at any moment black is threatening to take the knight on e3, double the white pawns. And as you can see, all the white pawns are messed up. There is double isolated pawns on d6. The next move, there will be double isolated pawn on the f-file. And there is also an isolated pawn on h2. So black's pawn structure is far better, will be far better than white's. And also, as white is still up 2 pawns, but the pawn on d6 seems to drop anyway. So I'm not sure. White will remain probably up 1 pawn, but have a very bad pawn structure in return. For example, a sample line can go like this: d3, and now knight to c6, preparing to go knight to d4, and also rook d8. And black has a lot of initiative for the sacrificed pawn. I'm saying pawn and not 2 pawns because for sure black will regain one of the pawns. So let's go back. So taking bishop takes d6 was quite a creative move, but Rashid was not interested in the bishop. Instead, he played knight to g5 check. And once again, black cannot go anywhere. He cannot go anywhere because, for example, if such a random move like king g8, probably there is more than one way to continue, but I think the simplest is now to take the bishop, because after queen trade, there is no longer rook e8 because the king is on g8. So white will remain with white will be up 2 pawns with no compensation, without any compensation for black. So let's go back. After knight g5, black played king g6 to attack the knight on g5, and Rashid continued queen to d3 check. King takes on g5, and now queen takes on d6. And once the queen moved from the d3 square, it opened up the path for the d pawn to move forward. And then the bishop gave a discovery check to the black king. And in this position, black got a little bit panicked. I mean, he could play a move such as king h5, getting away from this diagonal. And black will probably hold this game with a continuation with such as knight c6 and queen takes c5. He could hold this white attack because white still didn't brought both of his rooks to the game. But in the game, he played queen d8, and then Rashid continued d4 check, king to f5, and now g4. He's trying to open up his rook, getting his rook to participate in the game as well, because if king takes g4, then rook to g1, and the rook suddenly also participate in the attack. So that's why probably king h5 would be much better, because after g4, black is able to take with his bishop. When the king is on f5, you cannot take with the bishop. So he played g4. Black didn't want to take the pawn on g4. He just played king to e4, and now queen takes c5. And in this position, white is just trying to catch black king after castling and trying to chase him with the pawns and the rook. But black cannot do anything. I mean, for example, he cannot take the pawn on d4 because if queen takes on d4, which wasn't played in the game, by the way, then simply f3 check. The king must stay in touch with the queen on d4, so king d3, and now queen to a3 check, king to c4, and queen b3 is probably the simplest line. I actually saw a crazy line with the engine. He recommended queen b5. This is the engine top recommendation, and after queen c4 to go queen a5, but this is way too complicated. I mean, there is such a long journey until the checkmate. So, I mean, the simplest of all would be probably queen a3 check, king c4, and now queen b3 check. Only legal move is king c5, and now bishop to e3. White is winning the black's queen, and also rook c1 is coming. So black is completely lost here. So let's go back. So yeah, I mean, taking on d4 is basically resigning. And a move such as bishop takes g4, it's playable, but I mean, it's better than queen takes d4, but there is still a problem, and that is f3 with check. Of course, king can't take the pawn because then white castles with check and bring his rook into the game. So only move is bishop takes f3, and now queen c2 check, and the king is in very big danger because, for example, if king takes d4, then now queen to c3 check, and black is losing his bishop because if he goes king e4, then still queen e3 wins the bishop, and black's king is walking around when there is so many pieces on the board, and he got no defenses. So let's go. Even if he goes even like king d5, then still queen b3 wins the bishop because of the same pattern. If king e4, then queen e3, and white is winning the black bishop. So let's go back. So taking on g4, it's quite a bad move, but the move which black played is it's probably the worst one. He played rook f8. I'm not sure why. Probably just tried to stop f3 to make sure if f3, then rook takes f3, but white had a lot of other ideas, such as castling kingside, which was played in the game, and white is just bringing his rook into the game via the e-file. So black can basically resign in this position. I opened up my computer and I saw no defense with my engine. In the game, black played king f3 just to show you if bishop takes g4, then still e6 now, preparing queen e5 mate, which will lead to a checkmate. It's not a concrete mate. After moves such as knight c6 defending, then now rook e1, and we can basically stop here. Black is just walking around with his king. Moves such as king f3 would end up in a checkmate. You see, this is a mate actually, and because black pieces are all messed up, they are not coordinated. They're on the other side of the board, and they're not helping his king, the black king. So basically taking on g4 is still losing. So black played in the game king f3, attacking the pawn on g4. And here there is more than one way to continue, but Rashid played the simplest. He just played h3, defending the pawn on g4, making sure the black king can't escape. And black just played b6 in order to play moves such as bishop b7 or bishop a6, covering some of the weak light squares. But here simply Rashid finished up the game. So feel free to pause the video and find out how Rashid defeated his opponent here. So just give you a few seconds. Okay, I hope you found it. The move is queen c3 check. Once again, there is more than one way to continue here. This is a completely winning position. So queen c3, also queen c4 is winning because black king is not going anywhere. So queen c3 check, king e4, and now queen to c4. And in this position, black simply resigned because there is no good stopping against all white's threats, such as rook e1, rook e3. For example, if moves such as bishop a6, then now rook e1 check, king f3, and now rook to e3. Oh, yeah, rook e3, king must go here, and rook g3 check, king here. Probably missing the best mating pattern. Let's go a few moves back. Yeah, so yeah, rook e1, king go here. Oh, queen b3 is the fastest checkmate. Queen b3, and the only legal move is blocking with the bishop, which will result in a checkmate. So Yeah, black simply resigned, and also taking on d4 is still losing because of rook e1 check, and white is the very worst case is winning black's queen. So I hope you like this video. I don't know if you pay attention, but Rashid is right behind me. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, feel free to leave a like to this video. This is really helping me and it helps grow this channel. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to share it with your friend if you like it, and subscribe to this channel because I'm posting a lot of videos nearly every day since I opened up this YouTube channel. Every day I uploaded a video to this channel. So if you might not want to miss this out, so subscribe to this channel in order not to miss any future uploads. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.